What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Escape Plan, starring Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, this is the first movie to combine the powers of Stallone and Schwarzenegger. And now I'm going to say this. This movie came out in the year 2013, so up to this point, this movie was at least 30 years too late to finally combine Stallone and Schwarzenegger in a movie together as co-leads. Imagine if these two would have joined forces in the 80s at the height of their popularity and box office appeal. That movie would have been a juggernaut. Instead, it happened 30 years later, and the movie we get is Escape Plan, which tells the story of this character named Ray Breslin, played by Stallone, who is an expert in breaking out of high maximum prisons to test their integrity. All the while now, on the latest assignment he's been tasked, he ends up being double crossed, and now he finds himself in an escapable prison run by Jim Caviezel's character Warden Hobbs. Now, while in said prison, he meets the character of Rotmayer, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they pretty much try and find a way to escape this high maximum prison, which ends up being a ship. So yeah, this is a prison ship, kind of similar to the one in Face Off. So yeah, that's overall the basic plot line of Escape Plan. So let's talk about it. I overall think that Escape Plan, it's good. It's an 80s inspired action movie, and you have the two icons of the 80s combined in this movie. It does have some modern day sensibilities to it, and that's pretty much what it is. There's nothing really all that to Escape Plan. I will say this. From a casting standpoint, Stallone and Schwarzenegger together on screen, they work really, really well off one another. It's a damn shame that it took 30 years to see how their on-screen chemistry would work in a full-length movie, and they're great. Like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they work as a team. They work exceptionally well off one another. They had surprisingly good chemistries, and some of the best scenes are just Stallone and Schwarzenegger just bouncing off one another. Those are some of the best scenes of the movie, to me at least, or with Stallone and Schwarzenegger acting off one another. They really have a good on-screen chemistry, and I enjoy their bantering back and forth, especially when they have like these little fights, and they'd have their little one-liners with each other. It's good stuff. They're also backed by what I think is a very strong they're backed by what I feel is a strong yet extremely underutilized supporting cast. You know, you have 50 Cent, Amy Ryan, Vincent D'Onofrio, Vinnie Jones, and Jim Caviezel. They make up the supporting cast, and I think most of them are somewhat underutilized. I think the characters played by Amy Ryan and 50 Cent, they are Ray's teammates. I think they're underutilized in a lot of senses because they don't really get to do much. The character of Les, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, ends up being the one who double crossed Ray to go into this prison ship known as the Tomb, because pretty much the warden has promised him a big CEO position with tons of money. I mean, D'Onofrio gives a good performance as Les, nothing fantastic, it's solid. Of course, the movie plays off the fact that Ray and Les are friends, but I don't get enough scenes with them to really, really sell that and to really feel any emotion when it's revealed that Les double-crossed him. I mean, when you first see Les, there's already something wrong with him. You can already tell he's like a slimy type of human being anyway. How he values money over everything. I mean, but I would have liked to have seen some scenes developing their relationship at least. Jim Caviezel as the warden, he is joyfully over the top and cartoony, and for this movie, it works. Vinnie Jones, who plays his lead security guard named Drake, he is a sadistic guard. He's fine in the role for what he has to work with. Nothing spectacular, but nothing bad either. Yeah, the overall story of this movie it's basic, but it gets the job done. From a production standpoint, this is a really well-made movie. It's a really good-looking movie as well. It does have a lot of cool, scenes with it, especially where Ray is pretty much going over how he plans to escape, how he plans his escape. We get vivid detail through visuals on how he does every single one of his steps, to the point where he times a guard's routine and things like that. And that to me is like that's also some interesting stuff as well, like really seeing how the man's mind works when it comes to breaking out of these high security systems and all the detail he puts into everything. That stuff was interesting as well, is all interesting to and of itself. Oh, oh wait, I almost forgot. Sam Neill is in this movie. He plays a doctor, but I think Sam Neill's completely underutilized in this movie as well. The whole subplot of the Doctor is that Ray needs to get the Doctor in order to help him and Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Rottmeyer. But the Doctor, who was aboard this ship, he kind of goes against the a Doctor's code of ethics. So pretty much Ray is trying to get the Doctor to re-embrace his code and help them out, which of course Sam Neill eventually does. But once that happens, the Doctor character completely disappears throughout the rest of the movie. We get no conclusion as to what happened to him. We don't know if he lives. We don't know if he dies. Yeah, I mean the stuff with Sam Neill going through having his little mini arc to himself. That stuff that was interesting, but what happened to him? Like, dude, we don't really know. It's weird. Like I said, now back to the production standpoint. Movie looks fine. I like the overall look of the tomb. This high maximum security prison. It looks ginormous and gigantic with inside. I like how it looks. It's very similar to how the prison ship in Face Off looks. So that's pretty cool to itself. Visually, this movie is not breathtakingly awesome, but like I said, it does have some cool visuals, especially when Ray is breaking down how he escapes, how he plans and does his escapes from these maximum security prisons. The Stallone Schwarzenegger chemistry is untapped, and in this movie, we really got cheated at seeing these two act more in more movies together because there's untapped potential with these two, and this movie only scratched the surface as to what Stallone and Schwarzenegger could do as a tandem. The action scenes in this movie are what you need in action in a Stallone Schwarzenegger movie. Over the top action, and it works to quench the thirst. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about Escape Plan. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's an enjoyable movie. I think it's 30 years too late. It's nothing all that spectacular. It does have some cool things to it, but it also has some things that I wasn't too crazy about. But I overall find it very, very enjoyable and very, very entertaining. And honestly, I think I prefer this movie over The Last Stand. I think this is a better constructed movie than The Last Stand. It's actually a little bit more interesting than The Last Stand. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Escape Plan. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.